guys, I'm Lucille Abohon, first year BSBAB. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the body planes. What is body planes and what are the three types of body planes? And lastly, I'm gonna do or demonstrate three example exercise or movements of the body planes, the three types. So let's get started. So what are body planes? So based on my research, body planes are hypothetical geometric planes used to divide the body into sections. They are commonly used in both human and zoological anatomy to describe the locations or direction of bodily structures. So, body planes are imaginary planes that divide the human body into sections to describe the orientation of internal organs, bones, and muscles. These planes are used to help medical professionals communicate and understand the locations of structures within the body. So, body planes have several uses within the anatomy field, including the medical imaging, descriptions of body motions, and the embryology. So, body planes are important for medical professionals to understand because they provide a common language for describing the locations of structures within the body. Body planes are used to describe anatomical motions in the XYZ coordinate system that the body moves through. An anatomist could model a limb's range of motion by measuring which planes the limb can move through and how far it is able to travel. Anatomical change during embryological development is also described and measured with body planes. So let's proceed to the three types of body planes. So there are three types of body planes, which are the sagittal planes, the frontal planes, and the transverse planes. So, what is sagittal planes? Sagittal planes or lateral or YZ planes is the planes divides the body into left and right halves. If the plane passes through the midline of the body, it is called the median sagittal plane. So, sagittal plane is any imaginary plane parallel to the median plane. A sagittal plane is used in anatomy to refer to a plane that is traversing the direction from top to bottom and therefore forms left and right sections. So next is the frontal plane or the coronal plane. Frontal plane. This plane divides the body into front and back halves. Divides the body into dorsal and ventral or the back and front portions. It also separates the anterior and posterior portions. It is also called the coronal plane. So, frontal plane, any vertical plane that divides the body into anterior and posterior, or which are the belly and the back sections. And lastly, the transverse plane or the axial or XZ plane divides the body into superior and inferior or the head and tail portions. It is typically a horizontal plane through the center of the body and is parallel to the ground. Transverse plane. This plane divides the body into upper and lower halves. It is also called the horizontal plane. Sagittal plane exercise. The sagittal planes divides the body into left and right sections, and exercises or movements in this plane primarily involve forward and backward movements. Here are 3 examples of exercise or movements in the sagittal plane. Coronal or frontal plane exercise. The frontal plane divides the body into front and backward sections, and exercises or movements in this plane primarily involve side-to-side movements. Here are 3 examples of exercises or movements in the frontal plane. Transverse plane exercise. The transverse plane divides the body into upper and lower sections, and exercises or movements in this plane primarily involve rotational movements. Here are 3 examples of exercises or movements in the transverse plane.